guys, welcome back to the CayVin Universe. I'm so happy to get to talk to our guest today. We're going to be talking about her job in the entertainment and fashion industry. So this is Tracy Christian. Tracy, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great. Is it cold where you are? Because it's really cold here in Texas.
Well, it's LA's version of cold, getting colder.
Oh, okay. I see. LA. Are you anywhere near where all of the fires occurring?
Yeah, so the
Oh no.
fire that would have been mine
Mm-hmm.
was the Sunset Fire, and luckily it was contained a few days
Oh.
ago, but unfortunately the fires are still burning.
Oh.
Um, I mean, what can you say? The air,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Oh man,
it's just
I can only
insane.
imagine. I'm just, I'm glad that you and your home and everything
Thank
is
you.
safe. So I wanted to get started about basically how it all started. I understand you've worked in the industry for over 20 years, so I'm just curious like how it all became.
So, I moved down to Los Angeles to go to college and ended up staying here. And when I was about to graduate college and you're thinking about what am I going to do with the rest of my life,
Yeah.
I had a few friends here, of course. Anyway, this guy, John Singleton, became a pretty big director, and his assistant and my good friend is a writer named Joe Doherty. So I
Hmm.
remember I was speaking to them and I said, guys, what do you think I would be good at? And John said, I think you should either be a madam or an agent.
Mm.
And I didn't want to go to jail. So I said, see if you can help me get some meetings to be an assistant. Because, most people, when they go to an agency,
Right.
you start off as, a receptionist, you go to the mail room, you become an assistant, then a
Hmm.
coordinator, and then finally an agent. So I was able to get a job as an assistant.
Yeah. And how in demand are those types of jobs?
Really in demand, especially at that time. You know, um, a guy named, I was going to say Mike Medavoy. Oh my gosh. Um, this is crazy that I can't remember his
That's
last name.
okay.
Anyway, one of the founders of CAA had just written a book,
Hmm.
and it was all about how fantastic CAA was, and how powerful and smart he is.
Yeah.
And or he yeah, he is. So it was the popular job in Hollywood. Being an agent was being the tip of the spear,
Oh,
and you not only are you finding opportunities for actors, you're negotiating them. So
right.
you're doing kind of career management too alongside their manager. So it is a pretty exciting job, and
Yeah.
especially at that time.
Yeah, because you have like these high profile, say celebrities, I guess scouting you all. So you want to, of course, and I know you had mentioned before, in your bio that you've represented some pretty well known celebrities. Is there like any of them that you can remember that were like not necessarily your favorite, but memorable? Like that you had like memorable experiences with?
The person I think I'm best known for representing is an actor named Michael Kenneth Williams.
Hmm.
And he had this really, you know, pivotal role on a show called The Wire. And he played Omar. And I was really blessed because, the writing on The Wire was amazing. And I
Yeah.
had so many clients, not only on that show, but on HBO. I did a lot of HBO business at that time. And, that really, my career was already doing that, but it really catapulted me and I think told the industry like what my style
Hmm.
is.
Yeah.
Um, so that was very helpful.
Okay, so your style. So you go like you represent like, I guess certain types of people. So is like what would you say is like I guess so how do you determine your style? I guess is my question. Is like is it the types of movies or roles that these celebrities are going in or how does that work?
Well, all of the above. Like, first of all, if my client becomes a celebrity, that's great, whatever.
Yeah.
But really, what I want to represent and what I represent are artists,
Oh,
right?
okay.
People who, you know, their their fine art is themselves.
Ah,
They don't
okay.
have a paint. So I really love character actors, and it's great when they have training or they have instinct.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like really left of center, interesting looking character actors.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta uh like and you would say like that you like get along with those types of people too, right? So that's how awesome, awesome. So what is like the day in the life of like an agent like? Like walk me through that. I'm curious.
Well, ultimately, we're kind of salespeople.
Ah,
So sometimes it's a little sexy and, different, but there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of phone calling.
yeah.
So nowadays, some people work from home for a little bit or in the office, but the thing is getting on the telephone. So all day long, I'm speaking to producers, casting directors, executives about
Yeah.
what projects do they have coming up or ongoing, and getting the scripts to those projects and finding out what roles are available in those projects. And then I kind of think of, what client makes sense for that project.
Ah,
And
okay.
sometimes you want to kind of go against type too. Like if I'm speaking to, my friend Lamar about The Boys,
Yeah.
a series on Amazon, and he's telling me, oh, we have a new soup that's going to be introduced, and this is what we think they should look like. This is what their superpower is. And then I'm going to pitch him the person that I think makes most sense. But then
Yeah.
I might say, hey, I know this soup is written as a man and written as a white man, but I have this Asian woman who, here's why I think she might be a good choice for that. And you pitch that person and you try to get them, if not an offer, a meeting, if not a meeting, an audition. And we go from there.
Yeah. So you basically like when you take on these clients, you basically get like a rundown about themselves, right? You need to know like what they're interested in, like I guess you know what their price range is and stuff like that. So you really get to like yeah, learn a lot more about them and then you can go and try and get them those spots that really fit them best. And so like um I know you're probably like on sets and stuff. Like what is like the best part about being on set?
Meeting the other creatives
Uh-huh.
and watching your clients work, that's
Yeah.
always really fun.
Yeah.
But the, the set is great, but I feel like that's really the actor and the
Yeah.
director's domain.
Yeah.
So, you know, actually, like I'll visit my client on set, but I might be in their trailer.
Oh,
Lots of
okay.
directors don't want too many people on, set.
Yeah.
What's really affirming and so fun is when you see the finished product, because I've read the script and in my mind, this is what the episode is going to look like. And it's fun to see how your client brings the character to life and,
Yeah.
what the actual physical work is going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. And have you gone anywhere like exotic, I should say? You know, have you ever been out of the country with your job and stuff like that?
Yeah, a bit like all over,
Yeah.
Europe, Africa, Mexico,
Yeah.
wherever your
Wow.
client is, there you
Yeah.
are.
That sounds like fun. Okay, so I guess fast forward a little bit, you're in the talent agency and you become inspired to start your fashion line. And so I'm curious um what moment was it that inspired you to do that?
So truly, I started wanting a clothing line probably when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Because what would happen for me, I was always kind of a unicorn or a baby Huey. You can't tell from me sitting in this chair, but I'm 5'9", and I think I was 5'7" when I was in the sixth grade.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
also plus size. I mean, I wasn't thin, but I was always bigger than people. So, whatever the popular clothes were for kids, I could never fit.
Mm,
You know, when all the kids were wearing a certain type of short, it didn't come in my size or it looked like really inappropriate,
mm-hmm.
for me to have it on. So finding fitting clothes, that was always an issue. And it didn't change as I got older. As you get older and you're looking at fashion magazines, and I think like, oh, I want that, or,
Yeah.
and at a certain point I could afford the fashions, but I couldn't fit them.
Wow.
So I started designing clothes just for myself, and then I would hire someone to sew them. And I thought there's got to be other women that are in my situation, because when you're kind of in corporate America or you have an executive job, you might be looking at your boss and you think, okay, success looks like that. If I want to be the president of this bank or principal of the school or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
this is how I conduct myself and this is what I should wear.
Mm-hmm.
But what if that clothing is not physically available to you?
Right.
You know, what do you do? So so that's why I thought about starting the clothing line, but I never had time because I'm an agent and that's a, full-time job. I work
Right.
probably 55 or 60 hours a week and a lot of travel.
Yeah.
And then I'm considerably older than you. So when I started thinking about doing a clothing line, only really big companies had websites, and
Uh-huh.
and people still didn't really trust e-com, and websites were expensive, and that's just the website. So there were all of these barriers to creating a clothing line. Even
Yeah.
production, factories wanted you to make a 1,500 unit order.
Mm.
Uh, so 1,500 units means 1,500 of one thing, right? So like if I designed a
Oh,
sweater, the
I see.
knitter would expect me to order 1,500 of that one thing. And if I
Right.
wanted it in a different color, that would be another $1,500. I mean, not 15, I mean 1,500 units. So
Yeah.
so starting a clothing line wasn't something that you just did off the top of your head.
Yeah.
And I didn't have backing or money like that to do it.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the pandemic, where we all had time, unfortunately,
Right.
and technology meant that I could create a website by myself in
Yeah.
30 minutes. And factories were really hungry for business.
Yeah.
So they would take smaller orders. So that really helped.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like that's when you think about that sometimes, and your case is just a prime example of that. And it's that the pandemic like brought so many down, but it really brought so many people up too because everything was so low at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like starting up the business, like what process was that like? I said before, like I can imagine starting a business is not easy. So like, you got to make sure you have everything in order. So tell me a little bit about that, how that went.
Well, luckily, uh, being a talent agent, I started my own agency.
Hmm.
So I had some experience in business. My agency at the time, I think it was like 12 years old. So I had a little bit of experience as an entrepreneur. And your generation really made things a lot easier. Today, whatever you want to build, a wall or a business, it's all online.
Yeah.
You can go to YouTube University and learn how to build a house. Uh, and every government organization, you need a business license, you need this, that. Nearly everything that you need to do is online. So
Yeah.
this was a time when I didn't have to big borrow and steal time or money from my main business from TCA. I had time to, I went to Parsons, which is a really famous school in the fashion space. I
Hmm.
did that online. I took lots and lots of different classes, all online.
Yeah.
And that's how I started the clothing line.
Wow. And I did get a chance earlier today to browse through your website. Beautiful clothing, by the way. You can definitely tell,
Oh, thank you.
everything is made with high quality, material and products. What are some of like your best selling items? And then I don't know if we mentioned, it's pronounced Sante Grace, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, so Sante Grace. Tell us about some of your like most popular items, you should say, or if there's like LA. I assume I'm curious if any celebrities have been spotted in Santa Grace. So
Sure. Do you know who Jennifer Coolidge is?
of course I know who Jennifer Coolidge is. Yes,
Oh, okay.
she's good. She's good.
So when Jennifer Coolidge wore one of our dresses
Oh.
on the cover of uh, so crazy, I can't the cover of a magazine when
Uh huh.
she found out she's going to be Emmy nominated.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so we actually I don't court celebrities.
Uh huh.
There's not a ton of celebrities that are plus size for one. And two, the purpose of the line is to really give options to the average woman.
Yeah.
It's not about like, I'm not trying to make you look skinnier, or I'm not trying to like, oh, if I get this on Kim Kardashian, if she says that this is beautiful, everybody will buy it.
Yeah.
What I want to do is end the crying in the fitting room. I want plus size women to have an experience where you go shopping with your best friend who's a size 6. There's everything for her and not very much for you, where you can still find beautiful clothes that make you feel great and are sustainable.
Yeah.
And so for me, that doesn't have anything to do with celebrity. They can wear it because they like it
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah. You just want them to feel beautiful. Wow. Yeah, and I guess personally, I love everything that you're saying as far as that because I am the one crying in the fitting room. Personally, there's been times when, I there's something I want to wear, something I want to purchase. It doesn't come in my size, and yeah, just yeah, as a plus size girly too. Like I really believe in the there's like a word for it. Is it like I wrote it down here? Size inclusivity.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
I mean, we've all gone through that, whether it
yes,
happens to women, whether you're a size 4 or size 40, you
yeah,
grab something. First of all, if you're like a other size, you kind of not into shopping anyway, because you're tired of walking into a store. There's never anything that you like
yeah.
and is in your size, right? So finally you find one or two things, you walk in the dressing room and you put this thing on,
Hmm.
and then you look around at yourself and get depressed. And the way we've been socialized is women get depressed and they beat themselves up.
Hmm.
They think, okay, well, if I can buy Spanx or something and put this on and it'll look better. We try to change our bodies to accommodate the clothes, when in reality, the clothes should be accommodating us.
Wow, that's so true. I love that. And so, like, how do you? I know you mentioned you work like the almost 60 hours a week with your talent agency, and then you have maintaining your fashion line, and of course you have to have some sort of personal life. So how do you like balance all of that?
I think of balance in terms of probably a longer scale than a lot of people do. Balance is about, when my grandmother lived to 102, and she would always tell me like, when you're young, do everything that you want to do, because when you're older, you got to wait for, somebody to come by the house to take you shopping and or
Yeah,
if you want to go on a trip, your kids want you got to get permission from your kids, all of
yeah.
this stuff. So I think about balance in terms of, am I doing all the things that I want to do while I'm physically able to do them?
Hmm.
And and I try not to multitask. That's the other thing. So what are the important things at this moment in my life, right? Like if you have a young child, probably the most important thing in your life is that child.
Definitely.
So, if you would schedule, okay, let's make sure that the kid's happy, fed, blah, 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 blah. And then the other waking hours, what's the second priority? And do that. And then what's the third priority? I don't have kids or a husband, so I can put myself first. All the
Right.
things that bring me joy,
Yeah.
that's what I do because I know, if I'm able to live as long as my grandmother or longer, I maybe I'm not going to be able to do that when I'm 102, you know?
Right, right. It's like I can sleep when I'm 80. I know that's the
Yeah.
term that people say, but oh
Yeah,
wow.
you can sleep when you're dead, but you also want to, while you can, to me, I want to cultivate memories.
Yeah.
Like when my girlfriends and I get together, we're not talking about what we bought or whatever.
Yeah.
We're talking about what we've done together,
Yeah.
our shared experiences. And
Right.
so lots of my girlfriends are entrepreneurs. We talk about, the state of business. How are we going to navigate this? Um, so it's just how I live my life.
Yeah. What would you say is next for Sante Grace?
We have some big retailers that are circling us.
Oh
So we're
wow.
going to see what happens there. And ultimately, I want to open not a lot, but a small experiential brick and mortar.
Mhm.
So, what I mean by that is I would love to have a store that encapsulates, there's a boutique and it's size inclusive. And what that means to me is stop paying attention to the size and pay attention to the fit. Like
Yeah.
you know how you want your clothes to fit.
Mhm.
So you might put on a jumpsuit that's marked 3X, and we all know you're not a 3X, but you want it to be big and baggy, and you want to put
Yeah.
you want to rock it a certain way. So
Mhm.
I'm always trying to encourage women to shop with that attitude in mind,
Yeah.
right? But that brick and mortar would have a boutique, maybe a little sandwich bar with like a juice bar,
Yeah.
a yoga studio, an apothecary. And so when you come to the store, you can actually hang out and have fun. You
Yeah.
can be, doing yoga with the DJ playing, go to the store, once you finish shopping, you and your bestie, go get some boba.
Yes. Boba. Yes, definitely. Um well, wow, that's all really good. Is are you exclusively online right now?
Yeah, we're in a handful of stores, but
Okay.
basically online.
Basically online. Okay, and just I guess if you want to tell the audience where they can find all of that, and then if you have any social media that you'd like for people to follow and plug, that'd be good.
Sure. So you can find the Sante Grace website at santegrace.com, SanteGrace.com. And on social media, it's always Sante Grace.
Nice, perfect, perfect, perfect. So yes, y'all know where to go and find her. Tracy, this has been a wonderful conversation. I was so happy that we were able to, have this conversation. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I want to talk about, okay, what is up on your walls? Tell me about your
So we have
studio.
yeah, so we have like a space vibe with our show, so we just replaced this wallpaper. And then yeah, we're always sat here. Usually we have a green screen up. And then yeah, the cat always accompanies too, so she's almost like she's a part of the studio. But yeah, pretty simple. And yeah, it's just right. It's cold here in Texas, but we live out in the country, out in the middle of nowhere, so we can just do these kinds of things, and nobody bothers us. We don't bother them. So, yeah,
Congratulations.
yes, thank you, and um, yeah, this has been really fun. Making sure that we got everything. We got social media. Nope. Okay. Well, what time is it right now for you?
It is 5:37.
5:37. Okay, I was gonna say have a good rest of your night. So you still have plenty of the evening left. Yeah. So this has been really great. Thank you so much for coming on, and I hope you have a great
Thank you
rest of
for
the
having
evening.
me.
Yes, of course.